Ni hao, and welcome to another Meeple Madness review. Today we're going to be talking about Chinatown. Chinatown is a game for 3 to 5 players and takes about 60 minutes to play. It is a game where players are Chinese businessmen in the 1960s, and they are trying to wheel and deal their way to the top in order to be the richest person at the end of 6 years. If you like wheeling and dealing, if you like making that trade and coming out ahead, then let's open up the box and see what's inside Chinatown. Alright, so let's take a look at what you get inside the box. If you look at the box itself, this particular copy is a bit worn. Nice illustrations though, good artwork on the front. So first thing you get is a rule book. Okay, I do like the artwork on the front. It's basically the same on the box, just cut in half. It's a little bit more vivid. Okay, so let's take a look at what's inside the rulebook. Okay, well first off we have some good illustrations here. The print is very nice, very easy to read. Things are laid out fairly well. And fortunately it is not too long, look at that. Next we have a game board. This is a pretty nice game board. It has nice detail. You have a little Chinese New Year parade going on here. Nice detail in the park and the different pedestrians. Those details go really nice towards earning that art meeple. Down here in the right hand corner, as you can see, this is your turn counter. It has the different years, 1965, 1966. And it also has the Chinese years, the year of the snake, the year of the horse, etc., etc., etc. Okay, let's see what else we get. We have a black bag. Let's see what's in the black bag. Okay, so we have the business opportunity tiles. Okay, pretty good illustrations on them, good artwork. Nice material. Okay. Let's see what else. We have tokens, round wooden tokens. These designate whose territory is whose. Alright, the next component is money, and lots of it. Okay? Now there are several different denomination bills. This is a $200,000 bill. It has Andrew Jackson on it. Pretty good little artwork. As far as components go, they're okay. You know, they're a good hardy cardstock. So we have $200,000 bills. We have $100,000 bills. Okay, and there's a little bit of detail in here. It has Federal Reserve Note, the United States of America, dollar bill signs in the corners. Okay, so it has some pretty good little detail on here. It is glossy, so sorry about the reflection. We have $50,000 bills, okay, with Abraham Lincoln. And we have $10,000 bills with George Washington. Now, if you may know here, all of the bills look really similar. That is one thing that I do not like. Okay, I have seen people get $100,000 bills mixed up with $10,000 bills. Okay, and that could be a game changer right there. You accidentally hand them a hundo when you only meant to give them a 10. Next, you have lot cards. Okay, and these cards are given out to each player at the beginning secretly, and each card lines up with a different numbered lot on the board. Okay, so that way you can choose what lot you want to keep. And as far as components go, I don't know, they're the same card stock as the money. The backs of the card all have that same artwork that is on the rulebook. Okay, so that way you can't really tell them apart. But I have noticed that some cards have slightly different shading than other cards. So if you play the game long enough, you can pick out if it has that special shading, you know that it's one of 3 different lots. Okay, so that is a small manufacturer error. I don't know if that's in every copy, but that is in this one. Next up, you have these cheat cards. These cards come in very handy. They're good player aids. Okay, and what happens is this tells you different information depending on how many players you are playing with. So if I'm playing with 5 players, you have this ratio here, 5/3. That means that you get 5 lot cards and you keep 3 of them. Okay, for that round, round 1. Round 2, you draw 5, you keep 3. Okay, and then the red number denotes how many business opportunity tiles you draw. So in the first round you draw 5 because that's the red number. On the back of these cards, it tells you how much money you can make. If you have just 1 incomplete business, you get paid $10,000. Okay, 2 incomplete business, $20,000. 3 complete, $50,000, so on and so on. You have this random card, okay? This card denotes who is the first player. I have never needed to play with this card. Alright, so gameplay all happens simultaneously. First off, you distribute lot cards. These are all shuffled up beforehand, and you give each player that ratio on the cheat card. So then I secretly look at all of these different cards. So I have 79, 13, 68, 49, and 56. Okay, so these are 5 different lots, and I need to choose 3 of them. Alright? So some lots are more valuable than others. So if you look at this one, number 13, that's way over in the corner here. That's connected to 2 different lots. Okay, connections only happen orthogonally, not diagonally. So 13 is not all that valuable to me. Alright, 79, this guy, is right over here. That's a little bit more valuable. That's connected to 3 different lots. Okay, so when it comes time for trading, that's a little bit more valuable than 13. So you make your selection. Let's do these 3. Okay, so I'm not using these 2. These 2 get turned in secretly to the deck, and the deck will be shuffled at the end of the round. Okay, so those cards could potentially come up next round. When all the players have selected their cards, you all reveal simultaneously. And you claim your land with your little tokens. Alright, so I got 79, 68, that's over here, and 49. Okay? The cards that you used get thrown in the box. You don't use them ever again. Okay, so after each player claims their territory, the board is going to look something like this. After that, people draw tiles out of this bag. This is the opportunity bag. Now, business tiles have a couple things with them. The number 6, that denotes how big the business can be before it's complete. So I need 6 factory tiles, all connected, in order to be a complete business. But when that is complete, that makes me a lot of money. Okay? Jewelry is a size 4 business. Flowers is a size 4 business. After everyone draws their tiles, then it's time to barter. And anything is up for trade. You can trade tiles, you can trade land, you can trade money. Okay? Anything is up for trade. You can even trade future favors. So anything is really up for trade, and this is the main core mechanic of the game, is people trading and bartering with each other. Then it's time to build businesses, and that's when you put the tiles on the places. Okay? After you build, that business cannot move. This plot of land will always have a factory on it. Now the ownership may change. The next round, I might trade this to red or to yellow for a better deal. Okay? The whole business can be traded. Anything can be traded, but that tile, once that's down, is always down. After you build, you get paid, and you go to your nice little cheat card for this. Okay, so that would be a 2 incomplete business. I make $20,000 off of that business. I get my $20,000, the round tracker moves, and we dish out new lot cards, and we start the process all over again. Alright, well, what's good and what's bad about Chinatown? Let's go down the meeples. Art. The artwork is really good. It has nice, vivid imagery, good color scheme, and it is pretty well. There is one big flaw, however, and that is the $100,000 bills and the $10,000 bills look too much alike. People can get them confused all of the time, and that could cost you the game. So, for artwork meeple, I'm awarding you, bing, 3/4 of the meeple. Not bad. Alright, so let's talk about components. Okay, are the components going to hang together? Well, my copy of the game was purchased in 2008, and it has been heavily played ever since. So there is some wear and tear on the box itself, there is some whitening around the corners, and on a couple of the business tile components. However, no cards have ripped. No major cracks or creases or anything on the board. It has been in really good condition, and the components themselves are of pretty good quality. It's not perfect, but for 8 years of heavy gameplay, it has held up very well. So for what the game is out to accomplish, I'm awarding it the whole meeple. Okay, so the big thing, the gameplay, the fun, alright? This is why you want the game. Simultaneous play is really nice. It keeps everyone engaged. However, there's a big downside to the game, and that comes into the trading bartering aspect. That is the key component of the game. And this depends on the players. If you have one player who's horrible at making up their mind, if you have a player who overanalyzes everything and who really likes to think deep about every trade that they make, the game is really going to slow down. And people are going to start bypassing that player just to keep the game going. So it's not great. It's good. It's a good mechanic overall, but if you have that one player that can't make up their mind, gameplay really slows down. So, out of the 2 meeples of gameplay, I'm awarding Chinatown 1.5 meeples. Pretty good, but not perfect. Alright, so finally there's the everything else meeple, the replayability, the price, and the it factor, whether or not it can hold its own on your game shelf. Well, as far as replayability goes, it has a high replayability. No two games are ever exactly alike. People can play the game several different ways and still make good amounts of money. Okay, so it has a high replayability. Price. This game is out of print, so a used copy of the game can go for around $80 online. New copies can be well over $100. Is this worth that amount of money? It depends on you. If you really like bartering, if you really like interacting with your fellow players, then a used copy is totally worth $80. However, if you do have a person in your game group who does like to overanalyze things, if you don't like bartering, if you don't like really talking to other people that much, you just want to think, it's not going to be worth the amount of money to you. Lastly, the it factor. Does it have that spark of a game that can hold its own on the game shelf? The answer is yes. It accomplishes what it sets out to accomplish. It wanted to be a good simultaneous play bidding game, basically, where you can trade with other people. You can interact heavily with your fellow players, and it accomplishes that. Not a lot of games can do that so well. So Chinatown does have that spark. It does have a fairly good price, depending on you, and it does have high replayability. So as far as the everything else meeple, I'm going to give you 3/4 of a meeple. So overall, Chinatown is a solid game, and it has been awarded 4 out of 5 meeples. So it is a pretty good game in all aspects, but one major thing is entirely up to you and the people you play with, whether or not it would be a good fit. And if you like the art of the deal, don't be afraid to pick up Chinatown.